Well, that intro banner, that all is going to have to get changed. But hey, whatever. What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Mets Weekly as we are live for some breaking news. Before we get into all of it, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to the Mets Weekly YouTube channel for new episodes of our podcast that are recorded live regularly every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. For those of you watching on playback or want to join the conversation live in the future, make sure to turn on those post notifications to know when we go live. I mean, follow us on X, TikTok, all that great stuff. Let's just get into the news. We are joined by Mets Central, Evan and Matt. They've been on here many times for breaking news before. And let's get into this one. So, for those of you who haven't heard, you're not on Twitter, or you didn't see it completely instantly, the Mets have acquired Marcus Semien from the Texas Rangers to shore up that defense up the middle, give us yet another infielder, because that's what this team needs, in exchange for Brandon Nimmo, the long-time tenured Met. Now, plenty to go over on this, plenty of things to unpack on this one. Andrew, this is your guy right here. We've talked about it all offseason about how there was no way this was going to happen. Too much. I mean, no way. Too many things had to happen. No trade clause. I mean, he was regressing defensively, and somehow the Mets are able to get it done. Shocked.
I mean, what a great way.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. What a great Sunday. The Giants choking out of the game. The Eagles are picking the shit out of the Cowboys. I come downstairs to hang out with my dog, and I see a Twitter notification. I'm thinking, okay, let's see what the fuck this is. Oh, Passan. Oh, Nimmo's going to freaking Texas. What in the... Okay. Like we said, a lot of things had to go in, but maybe David Stearns made it ugly. Okay. What the fuck? There we go. Am I lagging still? Am I here?
Yeah.
You're lagging, but we can hear you.
Am I here?
You're lagging, but we can hear you.
Okay, because my phone's again. My phone's like 3% here. Okay, so besides the point. I mean, let's talk about it financially. You get out of 2 years of $20 million. I mean, that's what you get some long-term money off the books to take on a little bit of front money, which is fine. I mean, Marcus Semien is you want to talk about better defensively at second base. The other positive, this guarantees Jeff McNeil will not be on this roster. So at least if I'm losing my guy,
left field's open.
Jeff McNeil dying too.
Big boy. Hey, big boy.
Oh, no.
Left field's open. They also could put him at DH or first base.
He's a center. No, he's a center fielder. No, don't start this bullshit. He's gone too. I mean, it's a downgrade horrifically offensively, but it's the improvement in the run prevention, and that's what he wants. And now you have a defensive up the middle defense of Marcus Semien and Francisco Lindor. And we'll see what happens in center, but you're set now, at least defensively, for the next 3 years. And Semien, he's getting his 35, is still grading out good defensively. So again, you're getting a hit offensively, which now, and also a right-handed bat, which was kind of the one problem we kept saying. Any upgrades the Mets make are going to be left-handed bats. You at least throw another right-handed bat into this lineup, which is fine. He's not a good one. I mean, it's not like prime Semien from like 3 years ago. I mean, the guy's 670 OPS and 699, so you can't even get the league average bat. But again, you get out of long-term money, which is good for the books. Now it opens up to, if this was the first chaos move, now literally anything's on the table. And that's kind of the good thing. At least now that the offseason has started, you open a spot in the outfield, you get out of some money. What other chaos? And there's more moves coming. What other chaos is David Stearns doing to this roster that desperately needed to be destroyed?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've talked about this core plenty. Core hasn't won anything. And if those changes are something that they want to make, I'm good with it. I love Nimmo. I think Nimmo's awesome. I think he's a good player. But again, we knew that end of the contract, I mean, he was starting to show his age. And I'm genuinely shocked either way, as Andrew's going to probably configure his stuff better. But Evan, I'll go to you. I don't even know what to say. That's insane. I did not expect that to happen.
Well, it's like you said, though, that this core needed to be broken up. And
Yeah.
now that they're starting it, people are pissed off about it. You cannot. My main thing is you can't look at this trade in a vacuum, because if you look at this in a vacuum, obviously the Mets lose the trade because you're getting an older player. You're getting a guy that has not hit as well as Brandon Nimmo, even though, sure, if you really want to argue, Semien, despite having a worse bat, had a higher WAR than Nimmo last year. I think that's a testament to both how good Semien is defensively and how bad Nimmo is defensively. But nonetheless, you can't look at this in a vacuum, because there's going to be changes in terms of wherever they go with the corner outfield spot. That's clearly something that they want to address now. And this is going to get my head chopped off, but like, does this trade, and I'm not saying it does, but does this trade make a Jet Williams more expendable to where you can move him to help you get a Byron Buxton? You can move him to help you get a Fernando Tatis if the Padres are shopping him, and add another right-handed bat in this lineup and shore up your corner outfield defense? Or are they just going to spend the money now and bring back Alonso? Are they going to go out and sign a Kyle Schwarber to DH? Are they going to get Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger? This just opened up a lot of avenues, and that's really the main thing that I like about it. But I'll say this. If the Mets' plan is to replace Brandon Nimmo with Carson Bench next year, amongst other prospects, and have a rotating door, then I hate this move. But to me, I don't think that's going to be the case. And that's why I'm saying you can't look at this in a vacuum. And yeah, I mean, Will White's also bringing up a point that good clubhouse leader with Semien, won a World Series, if you want to look into that as well. But to me, it's the main thing is you can't look at this in a vacuum.
No, I don't think you can. It's more of just how they improve in these certain areas, and they go in these different departments. And we knew that defense was going to be something that the Mets are going to aim for this offseason. I didn't expect them to get a more prolific bat such as Semien, or a bat that was very prolific maybe a few years ago. But I mean, it makes sense to the point of, right-handed bats in the lineup. It makes sense for many different
Strike Blitz with a good comment too.
Yeah, this is another one of those things where I know a lot of people like Nimmo. I know a lot of people love Nimmo. The guy next to me on the screen loves Nimmo. But if it is what is right for this team going forward that keeps them from their either inconsistencies, keeps them from their deficiencies as a team, Brandon Nimmo was in that category because he was looking like on a trajectory to be a designated hitter. And guess who you just signed to a near $800 million contract who might be a designated hitter in the future. So you can't have all of that tied down. Matt, you're also here as well. Again, I mean, raw thoughts here.
Yeah, as always, great to be back. But I was shocked when it happened, and I'm still shocked sitting here, discussing this with you guys. Look, when the trade went down, similar to Andrew, I was on my couch in my living room, I think I was watching a random YouTube video, and then I see the Jeff Passan notification drop. At first, I wanted to make sure that it was the real Jeff Passan, make sure it was not some fake random Twitter account. But at first, I see breaking news: Mets make trade with Texas Rangers. So initially, the first thought that comes to my head is like, oh, what random reliever did we acquire from the Texas Rangers? And then I open up to expand the details, and I see, oh shit, the Mets have traded Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien. And like I said, I was shocked, and I'm still shocked. And to me, like you guys were saying, this opens up a lot of doors now with what this team can do in terms of, free agency, in terms of, other free agents coming up that are available on the board, or maybe do the Mets go out and make another trade? I think the free agency path is much more likely, but it's clear that they're going to target another outfielder because they have to. Because currently, right now, as the Mets are assembled, Juan Soto is your right fielder. He's not going anywhere. Your center fielder platoon as currently is, they brought back Tyrone Taylor yesterday or 2 days ago. They tendered him a contract. And you have Carson Bench, who is available right now in the minor league system. And you would hope that next year, he starts to make strong progress in terms of, cracking the major league level, either during spring training or potentially later in the year. And right now you see at their left field spot, they don't have any left fielders. Sure, could technically one or two guys move and play left field? Yeah, they could, but ideally you want to get someone that is, an impact bat and someone that is also great defensively. And I know the first two guys that come to our mind, looking at the free agency market, was Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker. And I fully believe that the Mets and David Stearns and Steve Cohen, I fully believe that those two will be main priorities come the offseason, or we already in the offseason. Whether the Mets end up landing them, that's another story. But in my full opinion, I think those two are going to be the main two targets in terms of adding a big bet. And then who knows? Because obviously another big name, and like what Evan talked about in terms of, you had to start to break down this core, because this core has shown over the last couple of years, when you go back to 2021, they came up short. 2022, okay, they made the playoffs, but that was a, division lead collapse. 23, total disaster year. 24, okay, sure, great year, but that's only, as of right now, that's more of an outlier year than anything. And then last year, we don't really have to discuss, because that was just a shit show in terms of how that season ended. So David Stearns has fully looked at this group, and he's seen and he's identified that we have to make a change to the leadership group and to the core of this team. Obviously, with Brandon Nimmo, I did not think Nimmo was going to be traded. And that's the reason why I'm more shocked about this, because, when you look at the contract, obviously he signed it in the 2023 free agency, signed it to a 7-year deal, or an 8-year deal, sorry, $162 million. And looking at the contract right now, you look at the facts of no trade clause and 5 more years left at $20.5 million. So at that point, I was like, okay, could technically you make a trade? Absolutely. But I always thought that the no trade clause was going to ultimately hang up everything, because obviously there is ways to do it, because you could take back another, similar bad contract, similar to what they're doing right now with Marcus Semien. But I was like, yeah, I just don't see it. I thought they were going to have discussions with Brandon Nimmo, and I thought Stearns was maybe, going to say, listen, we maybe want to go in another direction and stuff. You don't fit our current plans right now, and we would look to move on from you. I just never thought that Nimmo, who was drafted here in 2011, came up through the minor league system, developed, has become, a fan favorite among the Met fans, and like I said, committed to staying here for 8 years. I just did not see him accepting a trade to anywhere. I know people will always say, he was a Rockies fan growing up, but again, like, the Rockies are nowhere near a playoff contention. So why the hell would Brandon Nimmo waive to go there? It just didn't make any sense. And also, this is a point that Frank brings up many times on the podcast as well. It's like, Brandon Nimmo, again, not a David Stearns signing, was signed under Billy Epper in 2023, and he was signed to be a center fielder. And we've seen that, his defense start to steady decline over the last couple of years. And, he had to be moved to the corner outfields. And even we saw with last year, I thought his defense was personally okay in the first half of the year, but you really started to see a dip in his defense through the second half of the season. So, and listen, now with the Mets now, and like I said, Stearns identified that there had to be changes to the core and to the big building blocks of this roster. I would not be surprised now. And obviously, Andrew brought it up. I think Jeff McNeil is gone. Obviously, there was the rumors that the Mets are going to look to trade Kodai Senga.
No, it's not. No,
it's not going to happen.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I can't accept it until I see it, because
Okay.
he will be here forever. He is signed forever.
We're speaking in hypothetical terms, but also
Yep.
the big
Playing pretend.
The big other
We're
factor
playing
was
pretend here. Yes.
yeah. I personally think Pete Alonso's gone. I think this trade signifies that
Could be.
Pete Alonso's not going to be back here, because we always said that you have to move some part of the core. And obviously, when you look at the contract situations, Lindor's not going anywhere. You just signed Nimmo last year to a 15-year deal. The only two realistic targets that you could have moved was Nimmo, but again, you thought that wasn't going to happen. And then Pete Alonso was going to be free agent. Like I said, I just think Stearns has looked at this roster and has said, okay, we need to change something. And if I get rid of these two, quote unquote fan favorites, these quote unquote, big building blocks that has been, integral parts of this team, I think that, that he's going to look, okay, if I can replace these guys, I know I could get someone who, okay, maybe in terms of, offensive production, maybe is not better, but in terms of all-around baseball player in contributing, offense, plate approach, defense, I think Stearns looks at it and says, okay, I could get two better baseball players that fit the mold that I want to build this team in. So obviously, like I said, the offseason is still early. There's still plenty of moves that's going to happen. And I share the same thought with Evan. I know people will look at this trade and say, what are the Mets doing? Brandon Nimmo is, much younger than Marcus Semien. Why would the Mets be looking to this trade? But I would look at it in like the sense that Evan was saying, like, for now, I'm 50-50 on the trade. I want to see how the rest of the offseason goes before I make a full final assessment on what this trade really is.
Yeah, listen, I am on both sides of whatever they see fit to make changes and move on to, I was fine with. I've said it many, many times on our show. If they want to move on from pieces in the core that they could move on from, do it. Because this team has not won anything. This core has not won anything. And even if we want to talk about the entire timeline of Pete Alonso being here since 2019, nothing. There's not a single piece of hardware that merits them continuing to invest money into this core that continues to underachieve. And again, I was also okay with if you wanted to bring back this core under new coaches, because I did not like these coaches. We've talked about it. Evan and I even went live, when they fired everyone and talked about the aftermath of Eric Chavez, even with Jeremy Hefner, like, that type of mentality and the type of message that was being sent, it wasn't great. But if they feel like they need to go a little bit deeper, that is fine. And I was never one to say that Brandon Nimmo needs to stay and he's untouchable. I was always the one to say, oh, well, how are we going to move this? It's like almost impossible to move this. And they did it. They were able to do it. We got a chat here from Armand here saying that John Heyman tweeted that the Mets are sending over $5 million to the Rangers to offset the dollar difference, which does make sense. So when it is, so they're covering, what is it? They're covering $5 million of Nimmo's contract, I guess?
Yeah, it sounds like that, because apparently, I guess Nimmo's was backloaded or something, and that's why he's making more.
Okay. So that makes a little bit more sense as to what it is, but it's a 1-for-1 deal, and I'm really, really shocked, to be honest. But when you look at this in a technical sense here, the Mets just upgraded their defense up the middle. They just got rid of a near aircraft carrier contract that is on the books to make the team better with other moves in the outfield. And they did it without even trading a single prospect. So that means that they currently have ammo. Now, does that make me say that, oh, well, you're just putting chips into Marcus Semien? Maybe. I do believe that Marcus Semien can be a productive piece for this team. Is there a possibility where he is just god-awful next year? Maybe. There it is. But sure-handing us up the middle. I never liked, from the very beginning, Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil as a double play combo. Never did. Acuna's inexperienced, and his bat does not belong in the lineup. Brett Beatty is an inexperienced second baseman, whether he played a respectable one or not. All of these different options, they just weren't good enough. And to get a veteran like Marcus Semien to sure-hand yourself up the middle, maybe he plays in the lower third of the lineup if he's not hitting well. But I do think that you have an offensive output that can at least be respectable compared to what we're seeing from some of these young guys in the infield where we don't know what consistency we can get from them. So from what John Heyman also said on Twitter, he says the trade appears to be an attempt to get more right-handed for the Mets, obviously, because they have a lot of left-handed bats, and improve the defense for the Mets, which is true. You get rid of one of your worst defenders, and you bring in one of the best defenders at second base. I am hoping this means that Jeff McNeil is gone, but to be honest, I still have a blurry vision of him being in left field on opening day. So, if they actually made an upgrade, that would mean that Jeff McNeil will be gone. There's a lot of different moving pieces. if Jeff McNeil is still here, I will not understand what's going on here. Because does that mean that we're really just going to put Jeff McNeil out there in center field when David Stearns already said publicly that he's going to spend less time in center field this year? Are we moving Soto to left field?
Like what?
Are we moving Soto to left field, keeping Tyrone Taylor waiting for Carson Bench, and then putting Tucker in signing Tucker and putting him in right field? Like, what is the object here? I'm really wondering. One of these infielders has to go because you just added another one. So I don't know who's going to get moved, but someone's going to have to get moved. And I don't know if McNeil is going to be enough because you're still going to have a non-depth bench of young players. So, no. And McNeil is not going to play third over Beatty. No. So that's not going to end up happening. But I guess that report from Jeff Passan, what was it, last week, that even Brandon Nimmo can be had, that turned out to be true. So, I don't know. And I went full on out and said, I do not see this happening. It's almost impossible. He said that he wants to be a Met, and I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Maybe some people are mad because they like Nimmo, but this team has won nothing for me to play favorites. The only favorite I have is the true American Brooks Raley. That's it.
Until
Edwin
Diaz,
but technically he's not a Met right now.
I was going to say, unless Diaz comes back. But, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, there's just... Someone commented earlier, I think Strike Blitz, when I was talking about that before, how he was saying there's way more options in the outfield versus second base or just any other infield options. Because if it wasn't this, what were you going to do? Sign Alex Bregman, which that might have been a contract that you'll regret at some point as well, especially considering what if he just opt out of. So you had to do this. And again, it just opens up so many more avenues for this team. And like I said before, I mean, you have a plethora of infielders that you could move to get another outfielder or to get a starting pitcher, because there was also that report that the Mets are going to be aggressive in that market. So, and I do want to bring up the point that you brought up before about how you would have been fine with the core being here with new coaches or whatever. I don't blame them for not waiting around, because you only have so many years of Francisco Lindor. You only have so many years of Juan Soto in his prime, even though he's younger than Lindor. You only have so many years of this thing, and then, you know, who knows what's going to happen with the lockout next year. You got to just go for it, and this is the time to retool the roster.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, they needed to at least make a decision here with someone. So, again, I think that, again, this is one way to look at it. The big sleep is Clutch is saying here. He's saying $20 million for 3 WAR versus $26 million for 3.5 wins above replacement. Other than signing an outfielder, I do like it. Don't like it. I'm not sure, but he said, but I'm not.
Doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it. Again, it's more of a situation. It's more of a need for need move. I think that's basically what it's referring to. And I know that the Mets have so many different outfielders, and that's the main reason as to why it's being come into circle. It's like, okay, well, where are all these kids going to play now? I don't know where that heads, and you do have a few of these young guys that are out of minor league options, but it's the fact that the Mets needed a right-handed bat. They needed to shore the defense up the middle, and with Nimmo, a lot of things were barricading the Mets from having a more of a flexible roster if they kept Nimmo around, because there were plenty of options in the outfield on the free agent market. There also is a DH situation that he probably would have had to be in if they made any of those upgrades. So it makes the roster a little bit more flexible in this sense, which I am 100% fine with. I love Nimmo. I'm a huge fan of Nimmo. I wish him the best in Texas, but if it is the right thing for this team, I understand this move completely. 100% understand the move completely, especially when we heard from David Stern saying we're prioritizing run production.
Yeah. And the other important part also is that, over the past couple weeks, ever since the report, from Stearns' press conference at the end of the season, we've seen the Mets be linked to multiple second basemen throughout the last couple weeks. I know the Ketel Marte rumors were out there, even though I didn't really think the Mets had a good shot to land Ketel Marte, because I think if they're going to make a trade with their prospects, I think they're going to be more likely to send it to Detroit for a guy like Tarek Skubal, a big-time ace type like that. So I never thought the Ketel Marte trade was going to happen. Obviously, there was the rumors, and I predicted in my personal offseason plans, I thought that they were going to go more after a guy like Brandon Donovan. Obviously, there was also the Bo Bichette rumors that they could have signed him, move him to second base as well. I never really was a big fan of that either, but like you said, Carson, they had to make the defensive improvements up the middle, and it also helps you with bringing in another right-handed bat, because this Mets lineup desperately needed another right-handed bat, because even when you look at all the big-time free agents on the free agent market this year, specifically more in terms of outfielders and DH, because again, Kyle Schwarber, left-handed hitter, Cody Bellinger, left-handed hitter. And then I believe Kyle Tucker's a left-handed hitter as well. So they, like you said, they needed to bring in another right-handed hitter. That was important, because if they're going to go after one of these big guys, you're going to be adding another left-handed hitter, or maybe they even go after two hitters. If they don't decide to bring back Pete Alonso and they decide to bring in two lefties. But like you said, it also, when you look at it, it makes the team a lot more versatile in terms of how you actually want to set up this team. Because if you're looking at it, right, let's say the Mets go out and they sign Cody Bellinger, right? Well, now you have a possible, defensive plan where, you could play Cody Bellinger in left field. You can move him to first base. Maybe, if you sign Kyle Schwarber for DH, I know he's not the best, defensive, player in terms, but if you need him for a game, you could slide him to the corner outfield, or, or even like if they're going to sign Kyle Tucker as well, because he's going to spend majority of his playing time in the outfield. So this trade, like we were saying, it opens up a lot more versatility for this Mets team in terms of how they want to attack the offseason and what type of players they want to go after and sign.
And I want to jump in too with the Alonso and Schwarber thing, because if they are either keeping Alonso or bringing back Schwarber, obviously Schwarber's already a full-time DH. Alonso, it sounds like, based on everything we heard, they want to give him more DH reps. Brandon Nimmo would take away some of those DH reps, because by the end of this contract, you literally would not be able to move this contract in 2 or 3 years, most likely. You would be screwed, because you would have Brandon Nimmo, who already is regressing heavily defensively, needing DH reps. Then you would have Schwarber, who is a full-time DH, or Alonso, who needs DH reps. So, like Matt said, I mean, this opens up avenues entirely. And then Juan Soto, at some point, you might need him to DH. So it's like you had to move one of your 50 different DHs. And that's something that I talked about ad nauseum during the season, is that it feels like the Mets have a bunch of DHs plus Francisco Lindor. Like, that's what it felt like throughout the season.
Yeah, it's more of just the deficiencies of the team that I feel like are just being, watered down as of right now. And it's more of the mindset of David Stearns, where he likes guys who actually provide tools and can give you that versatility or give you value other than the bat. And I think that that's the main mindset that kind of has to be pushed off a little bit here, with a lot of Mets fans looking at this trade right now, and they're saying, oh, well, Semien did not have as good of a season as Nimmo, so this is a bad trade. No, we're talking about the deficiencies of this team. We're talking about defensive range. We are talking about your arm at second base, a double play partner. Mets were one of the worst teams at turning double plays. Marcus Semien with Texas, one of the best teams at turning double plays. It's all of these different factors as to why the Mets always fall short, because they have deficiencies on this team of players who are too one-dimensional. And yes, prolific hitting is great, and it can cover a lot of sins. But when it all comes down to it, defense up the middle matters. Base running matters. All of these different factors matter for a good baseball team. good hitter does not mean elite player, or bad hitter doesn't mean that that guy can't contribute in any way. And I do think that Semien is probably lined up to have a little bit better of a season. And if he's not his complete old self, that is fine. But if he does have a better season, last year, for the first time ever, he dealt with some injuries. He did. And obviously, with him being in the middle of his 30s, injuries are more possible. But we all know that Marcus Semien, one of his biggest assets, was always he posts every day. He's always putting up 700 plus plate appearances every single season. And again, if the Mets do see this to just shore up the defense up the middle, and also see this as an opportunity to break down this surplus of infielders who are all not really that good, please, by any means, please do it. Because the Mets have sent so much of a message for so long that it does not matter who has these shortcomings, who's this low ceiling player. We will take him, we will give him all of this playing time. We've done, Jeff McNeil, as he gets older, will continue to be less dimensions of a player. Pete Alonso does not give you any tools but his bat. Juan Soto will not give you any other tools besides his bat. Francisco Lindor is the only guy that they have traded for, they've brought in, that can give you multiple tools. He's a winning type of ball player. Tyrone Taylor contributes to this team with tools. And I'm not saying just get all toolsy guys, but they need a better balance on this team. And Brandon Nimmo was one of the factors as to that. And I was okay if they kept Nimmo too. I was all good with it. And it was like, okay, you know what? We just want new coaches. That's fine too. But if they go in a different direction for a team that has failed 4 times in the last 5 years, I'm okay with that too. I was open to anything. And to be honest, if they make another outfield move and that ends up being a trade for Luis Robert, I'm not opposed to that either, because the defense up the middle gets better. The tools on this team gets better. Does anybody realize how the Braves have beaten us so many times? With tools, with all dimensions of the game. Not to mention the Dodgers do that as well. Yep. What actually won the World Series for the Dodgers? Andy Paez making a ridiculous catch with the bases loaded. You need all of these dimensions. The Mets don't have any. And I know there was somebody in the chat saying, oh, well, this makes no sense with the outfield because you traded away Drew Gilbert. Drew Gilbert was never going to play here. It was never going to happen. He's not as well scouted, or as you're looking at, he's not a major leaguer.
And if you're mad about them moving Nimmo for Semien, I think everyone would have wanted Stearns dead on the streets if his replacement for Brandon Nimmo was Drew Gilbert plus getting Marcus Semien. Every Met fan would have wanted Stearns fired right on the spot. I do want to also add in just a little bit with offensively even. Maybe there's something to be said about the fact that Semien pulls the ball and they want to change their hitting philosophy, and Brandon Nimmo for the past few years, it seems like, has had an identity crisis at the plate, and that's something Matt and I have talked about ad nauseum on our show. So maybe there is something to be said about how maybe they believe they could get, I'm not telling you you're going to get the guy that finished 3rd in MVP voting 2 years ago, but if you could get like a league average 720 to 750 OPS from Marcus Semien that gives you 20 to 25 home runs, to me, I would take that in the middle part of the order, lower part of the order.
It's the fact of we are getting out of this mindset to where, well, we have a prospect here, we have a player here, let's just put him in left field. Let's put Ryan Clifford in left field. Like this is the type of thing. It's like, stop putting these guys out of position. Stop putting them in these positions where they have no range in just because their bat is great. Again, it could give you some decent upside. It could give you a decent amount of production, but it comes with deficiencies. And that is something that will continue to be something that has been a shortcoming for this team and going in a certain direction.
Yeah,
that is something that the Mets needed to do.
100%. And even just because I just went on Baseball Savant, just compare the two players in terms of, their hitting styles. And like I said, like Evan brought up the fact that Semien pulls the ball more and he actually puts the ball more in the air. And just looking at it through the last couple of years, and this is going back from 2021. So Semien's percentage that he hits the ball in the air, 69%, nice, 66.4%, 66%, 60.4%, 65.5%, and that was last year, 65.5%. Compare that to Brandon Nimmo, 51.6%, 48.3%, 58.8%, 57.2%, and 54%. And then when you look at the pull rates from 2021, Semien 47%, 43.5%, 46.9%, 46%, 44.6%. Compare that to Brandon Nimmo, 32.7%, 29.6%, 31%, 37%, 35.5%. So Marcus Semien is going to pull the ball a hell of a lot more than Brandon Nimmo, and that was one of the main reasons why the Mets made the change in their coaching staff in terms of their hitting approach. That's the reason why they brought in guys like Jeff Albert and Troy Snitker to work on them, because they want to pull the ball in the air more. They want to hit the ball in the air more, and they want to do more damage. And listen, and like what Evan said, maybe you're not going to get, and I don't think you're going to get 2021, 2022 MVP level Marcus Semien, but even under these coaches, because this is something that we talked about even before we went live. If the Mets made this trade and the hitting coaches were still guys like Eric Chavez and Jeremy Barnes, I would have no hope that you could see maybe Marcus Semien resurge to even, above major league average, above average major league bat. But now with under guys like Troy Snitker and Jeff Albert, I could actually see, and again, we have to wait to see, how the guys implement their current coaching philosophies. But we have a much better chance of seeing Semien be the older type of player he was under this current coaching regime than the old coaching regime that we had to watch for the past 4 to 3 years.
We'll see how the changes are made. There's still plenty of things to go, but I'm seeing so far Marcus Semien, the first domino to fall. It seems like for their big for their big off season that it seems to change the culture.
Moves.
It's the first in a series of culture changing moves, but it seems like it's someone who would fit the mold of a Jeff Albert hitter, fit the mold of a Troy Snitker hitter. So we'll see. I don't know, but it seems like his bat fits Citi Field well. He would have had 2 more home runs at Citi Field, and obviously that's more of a 162 game sample, and you play 81 there. But again, I am all good with this. I'm fine with it, but it's more of the fact of putting guys in the position that they should be playing. That is the main reason as to why. And when we talk about deficiencies on this team, the defense was a massive issue. And again, Ricardo, you're right. It was just, I know what you're talking about. It's just the fact of this old-fashioned look of, well, stop. It's this old-fashioned look of, well, this guy's bat is great. Get him in the lineup. It doesn't matter about his defense. It doesn't matter if he can't run the bases, can't do anything else. You need to fill in all dimensions on a championship caliber team. And I'm tired of seeing this team be a near $400 million payroll and still have so many deficiencies and so many different problems that, again, even for a guy like Marcus Semien, who is going to be 35 years old this year, 81 percentile in sprint speed. So again, this is a guy who can still move. He can give you more dimensions compared to someone like Brandon Nimmo, who his bat is his best asset. That's it. And all the other assets are a completely different dimension of levels. And again, this team isn't finished. It's not at all. You look at this roster right now, Ronnie Mauricio is our starting DH on Fangraphs. They are going to continue to make culture-changing moves. They are going to continue to change the culture. Can I get a yeah?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so Vientos will not be playing left field, but right now he is. So it's funny in that way. Williams is most likely to get traded now. Maybe. I don't know. I think Acuna is probably the most likely to get traded, to be honest. More likely than McNeil. But that's just me, because I know that McNeil can play left field, and he's a great utility man. So, you never know.
He's going to try first base now, too.
He should try first base. Andrew, you've been awfully quiet. I know you're kind of mourning the loss of your buddy here, but, I mean, it makes sense, right? They did the right thing. It's not personal, right? It's not personal. Same thing goes for, if we're talking about letting Pete Alonso go. It's not personal. What have they been doing? Hasn't been working, so they got to make changes. I'm all for it.
Well, I mean, it would have been nice to, let Alonso walk first, but, besides the point. Yeah, again, like, what was you go back to the original stream when he signed that contract. What was the first words out of our mouth? Well, out of my mouth. This contract sucks, but I'm okay because it's my guy. So, again, he did the right thing to clean the books out long term. But like we've said, like, I'm not judging this. Like we continue to say, I want to see who the replacement is. I want to see what the rest of this offseason looks like. I want to make sure Jeff McNeil is shot out of a freaking cannon. Like, there needs to be a couple of check marks. Pete Alonso's eating ice cream in Boston. Like, there has to be checkpoints that need to hit, which I'll be fine with. But again, I'm not going to lose my shit. I do appreciate David Stearns for not making. I was going to record a Nimmo video. Thanks for throwing that on the back burner. Now I don't got to record that video. So, thanks, David. You're making my life a lot easier. But again, like, again, you can now get creative because, like we talk about with like Jet Williams, now you got some prospects blocked. Now you can definitely trade. That's all these prospects. Jet, Reimer, Beatty, like, now you have second base. He's not going anywhere. Like, that's your second baseman for at least this year and probably next year. So now, no more of this. Like you said, let's play guys out of position. Jet, get ready to learn Detroit. Jeff McNeil, get ready to learn, Taiwanese, Japanese baseball. Like, clear these guys out. It's fine. Again, we'll see. Again, like we say, like, maybe you get a little bit of a bounce back. Even if you get like a 700 OPS out of Semien and good defense, it's second base. Again, this fan base is gassing up. Again, this is how it is, how low the bar is. They gas up McNeil and Beatty that can play second base at 111 and 110 WRC, like 100 WRC plus. If Semien does that with better defense, David Stearns gets horny, thinking about good run prevention instead of, creating the runs he wants to make. He wants to make all these diving plays, and whenever he gets those little scoops, glove flip from Semien to Lindor, David Stearns in the freaking office is going to go crazy. But again, it's a winning move that, again, fans are going to like because it's a fan favorite going away. And I understand. Again, fans are going to be irrational. Again, I'm probably going to go cry after this, but you know what? I'm going to hold judgment because I need to see what else is happening. Because this is just part one. This is the first big move of probably a ton.
The first in a series.
The piece of culture-changing moves. And again, as long as they don't go full Leafs, it'll be okay. Or just go full Rangers of just extending, old people and go down the shitter. Like, we've got two ways we can go here. We're at the epiphany of what do we do? Go down the good road or hire a dumbass? It's a seesaw. Let's see which one wins.
I don't know. I think they did a good job with this because, again, they reconstructed the roster and avenues of the roster without moving anything else. They just swapped out Semien and they swapped for Nimmo, which opens up the infield possibilities, the outfield possibilities, shores you up the middle. I think they did a good job. I think they did fine. I think this is a perfect move here to fix problems from last year and kind of fill in the gap of deficiencies with this team. But still, a lot more has to be done. A lot more, obviously. Pitching staff has still not been addressed yet. Stearns, the fuck you doing, man? But this I think was the right move. Again, I was probably going to call anything the right move because there's so many pieces on this team that limit them from being better at different types of dimensions, whether it's their contract or the certain depth on the roster. And we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Because if they were to get somebody to shore up the defense, let's say in center field, let's say they bring in Luis Robert, who, again, has offensive upside. I know a lot of people don't like it because bad batting average. But if you were to bring in Luis Robert, you know that you're shoring up the defense up the middle, unless he turns into Jose Siri and is not able to do that. But if they bring in, let's say, Robert to take center field, Tyrone Taylor is your fourth outfielder is playing left field. You bring in somebody else. I don't know what they do there, but that basically gives you more dimensions on your defensive core where it's like, oh wait, what else are we missing here? First base. Wait a minute, that guy Pete Alonso. We can bring him back. You see how that works? Getting rid of somebody like Brandon Nimmo opens up an avenue as to where you can bring in better defenders to complement with, let's say, bring back that guy Pete Alonso, and everybody can put their polar bear hats on, go to Shake Shack, and have so much fun trying to get an autograph from Pete Alonso, which is very, very fun, as I've heard. Right, Andrew? And I'm not saying Luis Robert is the move. Again, I'm not saying Luis Robert is the move.
I'm not saying it. Again, I think, bringing back Pete Alonso is just good for the vibes. You got to keep the locker room close together. Everybody's butt buddies. You got to keep everybody together. Keep Lindor, Soto. You get better defensively in one of the corners and center field, and there you go. Jeff McNeil's still probably here, and we're all running to win 86 games and probably still getting bounced in the wild card game. Whoop-de-doo, yeah. So totally not cynical right now. But again, it's just now the offseason is more fun and more creative because you don't know what the hell he's going to do now. Because we've said it throughout. We were shocked this gets done. Now, literally, we could wake up tomorrow, Fernando Tatis and a blockbuster trade's coming to the Mets. That's a possibility now. Anything is on the table. So now you're now the offseason, for an offseason that everyone was like, we're kind of bored. They want to bring back Diaz and Alonso. Now there's a little bit of excitement because you don't know what the hell's happening now. You can go, let's trade, Buxton. Oh, you want to go get Tucker. You want to go get, Lou Bob if you want to go the cheaper option. There's a plentiful of options, and now you're in need of one of those guys. So now you can get creative and say, all right, what do we want now? Do we want to use the prospect capital? Or do we want to use the cash? Do we want to do a bit of both? You trade another guy, maybe that opens up another spot. There's so many ways now that this offseason, and thanks, David, for doing this trade now before I do my offseason, projection video. Again, saving me all the work, David. I appreciate it. So now that video becomes a little more creative to get into the lab and say, what can this team look like now with this money open and now these spots being open?
Yeah, I'm all for Buxton. We'll see. I don't know. Again, I also in the fact of Buxton, if you're talking about that, and again, I don't know if he's willing to move no trade clause, or there's a possibility it could happen, but maybe the Mets are on his list. I don't know, but if they were to get Buxton, this opens up another avenue when you're talking about Brandon Nimmo and things that he was kind of blocking out with his contract being here. I was like, okay, well, if they get Buxton, then we have two outfielders that we have to be concerned about with their health. And they're signed here long term. Now you'd only have one in Buxton, and because Nimmo's gone. So again, there's so many avenues that this opens for this. And again, I'm open to all of it. I really am open to all of it. Especially when I'm talking about guys from like David Stearns, of some of the guys that he has brought in when you're talking about offensively, they are guys that help fill the margins, which the Mets have been missing. They need a lot of those different avenues to be open. Now, if this means that we're just going to bring back Starling Marte, that's when my fist is going through the fucking window. But right now, I'm open to this. I'm open to the possibilities of everything. It's all really about the direction that they take. That's it. It's all about that direction. We'll see what that direction ends up being. But I think right now, with all the assets that they have, when you're talking about a guy, Marcus Semien, a veteran who can help this team in the certain aspects, they gave up, they changed nothing in the certain situation to get him. And by I mean nothing, they didn't chuck the payroll. They didn't change the payroll at all. I'm pretty sure they added $5 million or something. They added something. I don't know. But nothing monumental. And now that opens up basically a complete offseason like Semien has been on this team the whole time. Like, it's basically just roster construction. No prospects are gone. No payroll has been added or subtracted that's any significance. And that's all it is. This, again, Game Short's saying this is the only team that can stop the Dodgers dynasty. It sounds crazy, but it's true. But if they don't stop them, they will three-peat. They probably will. And they're going to have to find a team that is more postseason bound than this one that just missed the playoffs. As for Marcus Semien, even if we do end up getting there in 2026, Marcus Semien, his all-time OPS in the postseason is 780. So not bad. Not bad. Obviously behind Seager. But, Seager's one of the best. We saw Seager in trade talks, so I thought it was Seager for a second when I saw the notification. But, I only have notifications on for Jeff Passan, so I knew it was real. But I was definitely in shock there. Definitely in shock. Wow. I'm surprised. I really am. I am definitely surprised, but it is for the right direction of this team. I do believe so. And if it ends up not working out, it ends up not working out, but they have to explore different avenues from a core that has just failed so much. It's true. That's it. But if you guys want to get into the Adam Ottavino stuff, even though we were going to talk about that on our show, but there was some comments about Adam Ottavino with Brandon Nimmo not being happy that Lindor was being named captain. There was stuff about him, with Andy Martino, of him choosing Alex Verdugo over him, which is, hilarious if you look at it in hindsight with, how much better Brandon Nimmo is now than Verdugo, who is very close to being outside of the league. But it's weird that the timing of this happened, and obviously Adam Ottavino was talking about some other things with the bullpen, but it's weird, the timing of this. Brandon Nimmo is sent packing within, 72 hours of that dropping on Adam Ottavino's podcast. So it's interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting.
I did not expect those comments to come out personally. Look, whether the rumors of, and I'm not saying, that Adam Ottavino doesn't have sources or, he's lying here in this case, but if it is true that Nimmo was the more jealous type about the rumors that Lindor was going to be named captain, I'm honestly completely shocked because everything we've seen of Brandon Nimmo, at least, in terms of, face value wise, because obviously we don't see everything else that goes behind the clubhouse. We don't know everything, we don't know everything about all these players' personalities behind closed doors. But, Nimmo to me always seemed like a guy that, was a team first guy. He was willing to do, whatever it took for the team. And, he wanted to be part of a group that, ended up winning. And to me, like I said, I was kind of confused that, he felt like kind of like offended by the fact that the Mets were looking, or at least the fan base was pushing for Lindor to be named captain. And then obviously, the Martino things came out as well. I'm not too shocked about that because Martino's kind of a dickhead in some cases. But I mean, there was another part of that about the Adam Ottavino things that came out of his podcast, more about Mendoza and how he manages pitchers in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Which that I'm a bit more concerned about that. I don't know if we're going to talk about it on here because it doesn't really fit the topic, but That was certainly a little more concerning for me as well. I don't know. Evan shares that same thoughts as well.
I mean, the thing about Ottavino is like, I don't think we wanted him for the 3 years he was here. So it's like anything that comes out of his mouth, I'm just kind of just rolling my eyes. But again, if you were to talk about the whole bullpen management, I get it. I do. And I think Mendoza did a horrendous job with the bullpen of managing, putting these guys in certain situations. But if you're talking about like the usage of the guys, you had no choice you had no choice. You had starting pitchers not being able to.
I was gonna say like that.
Innings.
That's the one thing I could defend in terms of the fact that there was injuries. Like I don't know. It kind of goes hand in hand.
In my opinion, falls on Stearns more than Mendoza for building a rotation that wasn't able to withhold that.
To me, it goes hand in hand that Mendoza. There were times where he would give guys. Like he would be running guys into the ground too much. Like there was times early in the season where Max Kranick was used like every other day, and he would go 2 innings. You basically killed the guy. Reed Garrett would go sometimes like 3-4 days in a row, and another guy that they just killed. But then there's also the fact where it's like you also didn't have a choice because starters sometimes wouldn't even make it out of the 3rd inning, let alone make it through 5. So it was like you kind of had to pick your poison there.
I don't know. It's funny that Adam Ottavino is receiving deferred payments for the next few years to talk shit about us, but hey, it's whatever. On Spot Track right now with the Brandon Nimmo situation, it says that the Mets are retaining $1 million on Brandon Nimmo's name. So I don't know where the $5 million.
That might be $1 million per year.
Yeah, $1 million per
Is
year.
it $1 million? Oh, okay. That's even better. Sternty! Yeah! All right. So he would be retained salary and then Frankie Montas next to him. Cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job, David.
Yeah. Meh.
Montas, yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay.
He was going to give us innings, guys. It's okay.
It's about the innings. Actually, I think the payroll went down. Pretty sure. Did it?
Yeah, because I think
well, no, because Semien this year at least gets the payrolls making $26 million. Nimmo's making 20 and a half, or 19 and almost a half with Texas plus.
Okay, so it goes million. Up technically ish, right? Okay,
marginally. And then once Senga and McNeil are gone,
it's okay. I see it going down on Spot Track because they got rid of Montas, so they retained his salary, but it's not on the active payroll until the season starts. So all right, that makes sense. Never mind. False alarm, everyone. Yeah. It's a move that had to be made, but there's other moves that need to be made too. Because I think that if you are, and I hope this is the direction that they're going in, if they are digging into this core with Brandon Nimmo, sending him out of here, I better see Jeff McNeil out of here.
I was going to...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And if Jeff McNeil's out of here, could that mean Pete Alonso's gone? I don't know. But they're gonna have to figure it out. But it seems like Alonso's seen as a priority for the Mets. And if they bring back Alonso, again, if you're talking about between Nimmo, McNeil, and Alonso, your 3 homegrown guys, that eat ice cream in the dugout with you, those 3 homegrown guys, who are you picking if you have to bring back one? You're picking Pete Alonso, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. McNeil could play pretty much everywhere. He could play catcher if he wanted to, so I don't know.
He's the emergency catcher, yeah, I know.
He could probably pitch too.
So, if this means that Jeff McNeil is moving to first base, I'm out of here.
I'm gonna shoot a dog. I'm shooting.
I'm gone. I'm gone, man. I'm gone. Oh, God. Monetization button's on, YouTube. You can't do shit.
I was
Fifty shit.
so with what I was gonna say before that, I was gonna say that I feel like this trade had to happen before Senga and McNeil get moved because you had to this was the biggest trade of them all, and you had to see what you were getting here before you could clear Senga and McNeil off the Bucks. I could be wrong, but I feel like just logically it makes sense in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting more culture changing moves, more retooling. But if Jeff McNeil isn't gone because they were able to move Nimmo, first of all, just for trolling me, but it's like stupid mouse is a piece of shit. Anyways,
He could say it, but I can't.
no, my computer mouse is a piece of shit. I can't say that.
Well, yeah. I guess the one thing against bouncing off what Evan said. I mean, now with Semien, does that kind of maybe loosen kind of the leverage the Mets have in a sense because they obviously have the second baseman. It's not like, well, we need to keep Jeff McNeil. We all kind of expect.
No,
if
McNeil can play everywhere.
Well,
he can play on the moon.
It's not like there's a better version of Jeff McNeil. It's on the trade market that everybody and their mother now wants. Again, who's younger, better hair, actually plays good defense out in the outfield. There is. But again, but I mean, even still, I guess you can maybe
lock him in for 8 years just because of better hair. Eat shit.
I mean, he's a ginger. I mean, do you really want to lock him up to a 7x7? That didn't work well for that one team, so I don't want to give him a 7x7 to a ginger. Nobody really wants that in the year of 2025. But again, if you get McNeil out of here, well, Matt's out here cracking like a cackling cat over here, so it's all good. Besides the point,
sympathy chuckles.
Okay. But again, I guess my thing is now, okay, he's out of here. If Semien, the problem is with Semien here being 3 years, it's a 3-year deal, whatever money's left, you do have to move Jet to an extent. And we expect him to go big market hunting for a starting pitcher. This makes Jet even more expendable. It's not even just talking McNeil.
It makes every infielder more expendable.
Oh, yeah, but Acuna's got the same value as the penny does nowadays. Nobody cares. He's not a Beatty has, a little more value, but Jet's the one second baseman. If somebody's trying to get, it's Jet because one, he's the only, the natural athletic, great towers over everybody. You kind of have to move him now. If it's for a starter, if it's for an outfielder, Jet becomes the expendable piece that you just have to get him out of here. Not have to get him out of here, but let's say you could keep a team wants Jet and you get to keep a starting pitcher. Now you could maybe be more willing to give up Jet to say keep maybe some starting pitching. It's like the team wants Jet over maybe giving up another starting pitcher. So that's kind of the benefit now of having a second baseman. And again, just we'll see what happens with McNeil and everybody else.
I don't know. Can't Jet play the outfield? He probably shouldn't be. It's kind of
like 3 foot
to have a 5 foot. What is he? 5'8" center fielder. I mean, we already tried that. We traded for one. He sucked.
Yeah.
The Mole Dog. We bringing him back?
No, Acuna and Jet Williams are going to play center field together. Remember that?
Oh yeah, that's right.
God.
Stuck on top of each other in a trench coat.
Damn,
we're bringing back Aaron Altair.
Oh no, Keon Broxton. What are we talking about here? Keon Broxton's coming back.
Who do you think will be our first baseman on opening day? Ty France. I like it.
We're bringing back Dom Smith, guys. We're bringing back Dom Smith.
God, Jesus.
One great guy out, one great guy in.
One great guy back in. I'm not gonna make that. Nope, I'm not making that.
After 14 years in the organization, Brandon Nimmo's gone. Wow. No Rowdy Tellez. Oh man. Maybe.
No. We don't. No more fat people. We got enough fat people in this organization.
Yeah, this could. I mean, it could mean Bellinger. You never know.
Yeah.
Because he could play first base and he could play first base. He's better in the corners.
Or just Carson Bench. You got two spots to win. Pick one. If Tyrone Taylor has a good spring training, he's in center. You're in left, bud.
They're going to sign friggin' Aubrey missed a kick. That's crazy.
All jokes aside, Ty France is a good bench player. The problem is that you already have so many bench spots like that are already filled. You already have 3 bench spots filled right now.
Exactly, and he just won the Gold Glove at first base, and we're talking about run prevention. By Pete Alonso, high Ty France. Run prevention, baby. So we don't care about bats. We only want good gloves. We want to be a bunch of noodles with good gloves. We want to run prevent.
Is Semien a noodle?
Well,
Didn't ask. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, bad OPS. Brett Beatty got better OPS than this guy. He's not making $25 million. Just saying.
Brett Beatty is 35 years old.
Well,
Brett Beatty is going to get traded at 35 years old because, we'll see who's on the move. I'm excited. Let's see. If this is the only trade that they make, I'll be very, very confused. Let's just say that. Jet Williams is definitely going to get traded now. I have no idea. No idea.
Igor does not have a good glove game. Shorts for you. Have you watched Ranger games? Guy gets beat glove.
There's no 5-hole, no glove side anymore.
Dude, I think Matt Murray should play first base. That's the kind of glove we need at first base.
Our best goalie just got hurt, actually. He's probably going on IR. Stole 40 bases with a high on base percentage. Those are tools. Sure. But that's more stretching it to give an ability. I've been watching. They make me excited for the Mets again. All right, well, Semien doesn't strike out, makes a decent amount of contact. Bat speed has gone down, though. Who else we get from the Nimmo trade? Just Semien, 1-for-1, which makes it so much more shocking to me. Like that's what really I was really, really surprised to see 1-for-1, which again, it's bad contract for bad contract, but usually you see some other moving parts for this, not just like a dump for dump, Usually you don't.
Unless you're like the Angels, like bad teams do this kind of dumb shit. Not, is it bad? I was low-key kind of expecting like an Evan Carter back with it when the original trade came. I'm thinking like, okay, then maybe they get a young outfielder back for cheap, and then like you said, the 1-for-1 is like, huh? All right.
I thought they were gonna get like some sort of reliever back at least. To be honest with you, just like someone that Stearns is horny for that we don't think is good. Some bullshit like that.
Trade has been working for several days. Brandon waived his no trade clause, pushing the trade to make becoming official. Wow. Now,
I thought we were going to get Dom Hamill back in the trade, honestly.
Hamill back.
Damn. It's. Listen,
but you didn't think DeGrom was going the other way? You thought DeGrom was coming too?
I saw Mets in Texas and thought they were actually going to trade. That was what I saw the first, right when that notification came out, because I was on the Twitter app when it happened, and I saw over the top. I saw Mets in Texas. I was like, no way, and it ended up being Brandon Nimmo from Marcus Semien. Interesting, but it's whatever. Wow. But Lindor and Semien up the middle, that's definitely some good range right there.
Probably.
That is some nice range.
Got the DRS, Stearns is going to walk out and just print out his DRS sheet and put it on Steve Cohen's desk. This is what we got. Defensive run save. Not run scored. DRS.
Yeah, and like Semien is a liability offensively.
He's 636 OPS. He's not. That's almost Nick Madrigal levels of bad. Yeah, Nick Madrigal already on the roster. Like I already had a shitty OPS guy. That bit with good defense. But yeah, we'll see. Man, you should have just took Seager.
You're just salty, man. Salt.
At least Seager hit the nukes. I mean, Semien just old. He's got a crappy looking goatee. I mean, come on. Guy's 35, almost, halfway to death. I mean, it's not, when you're giving away a homegrown future Hall of Famer, like, I'm expecting more, not, just, it
Now
is
that
what it
Nimmo
is.
is gone, I hope Ottavino spills more secrets about the leadership issues of this team. What leadership issues? We don't have any leadership issues.
No, Pete Alonso's a great leader.
Leadership issues in New York? Never heard of that one before.
Never heard.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, neither have I.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's plenty of possibilities here. Let's just say that. You have first base open as of right now. If Bellinger, he could play first base. If you put him in left field, that could be a possibility. You have Kyle Tucker available if they want to go full out fucking Super Saiyan mode and give him $400 million. You can move him to right field, move Soto to left field. Makes the defense better. Plenty of avenues here.
Better on.
Yeah. Because originally when I was doing my offseason plan, I wanted to do an outfield of Bellinger, Robert, and Soto. But I was like, how are you really going to make this work with Brandon Nimmo? And ultimately what I did, and I know I committed sacrilege here, and I should be probably be hung on a cross. I didn't bring back Pete Alonso, so I offended all the people with polar bear hats. Who
The children with the jerseys.
Matt, you're the Antichrist if you say that. You're not allowed to do that. If you don't want to bring back Pete Alonso, you are. Exactly. Think of the kids with their onesies.
I apologize.
Jesus.
And I had Nimmo at DH. I'm like, okay, Nimmo could play DH here, but again, like going over the stats, I'm like, the guy doesn't pull the ball in the air or consistently, doesn't put the ball in the air consistently. So it's like, why would you move Brandon Nimmo over to DH? And again, like we've been talking over the past couple of years, where Brandon Nimmo has had this identity crisis. Okay, do I want to be a power bat? Do I want to be a contact guy? Do I want to be somewhere in the middle? I'm like, that just doesn't really, fit the role of a DH type to more, because you want more of those, Pete Alonso's, those Kyle Schwarber, type of role guys to be your DH. So, Nimmo for DH really didn't make a ton of sense, but now since he's gone, there is a possibility where you could sign Cody Bellinger to play left field. You could trade for Luis Robert to bring in center field. And then all of a sudden, along with Juan Soto in right field, now your defense in the outfield and your defense up the middle automatically just takes a huge step, towards being that much better.
So I think it's an upgrade to the dimensions they needed to fill in. That's it. And that's all that's good. They need to look under the hood with this. Now, I'm seeing post-game interviews. Does that mean... Hold on. I'm seeing post-game interviews for this. Okay, so the Raiders lost. Nice. Okay. Anyways.
You let Shedeur Sanders beat up you.
The tank, baby! Hop on, Raider Nation! Cannons, bitch!
Well, I mean, you can't jump the team that, chokes fourth quarter leads. I don't know what you're tanking for. Greatest three-quarter team of all time.
We're fine. You guys have a quarterback.
Well, you're gonna give me Max Crosby and 2 first-round picks. You're not getting a quarterback.
You're gonna draft a quarterback, all right?
Anyways, I'm trading the pick.
I still remember when Nimmo got injured eating cereal. Did he? No, he got. Wait, it was the undercooked chicken, right?
Yeah,
it was the chicken, exactly.
Yeah, and then he got hurt.
Chicken.
He hurt his neck from not sleeping right, whatever the fuck else he dealt with.
Exactly. He had some warts, let's just say that. But hey, he finishes his Mets career. Let's see. What does he finish his Mets career with? I'm gonna make Andrew sentimental here for a second.
Well, I got a stat for you. Here you go. This just shows how elite Brandon Nimmo is. This because, of course, gotta love nerds just posting random, clickbait stats. The only outfielders with 750 hits and over 350 walks in the 2020s: Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Mookie Betts, and Brandon Nimmo. Love being some cherry pick stat. Love it.
Well, he finishes his Mets career 7th in wins above replacement. 135 home runs, 463 runs batted in. A 262 average, a 364 on base percentage, a 438 slugging, a 126 weighted runs created plus. So, Brandon Nimmo, it's been fun. Go be great, King. Go slay in Texas.
Couldn't
Go
even
slay
trade him to the
Texas
Royals.
Cookie.
He
They
won't be
couldn't
the
even trade him to the
scapegoat
Royals.
in the playoffs.
All right, so the next culture-changing move is a trade for Bailey Falter. Okay, everybody get on board for that?
No.
No? Okay.
I'm just excited that Ji-Hwan Bae is going to replace Nimmo in the outfield. That's just me.
That's
I heard he
That's
hits pretty
rough,
hard.
man.
So he'd be,
Do you think
He's a
Andy
hard hitter, don't
Martino
forget that.
saying he expects Nimmo to stay is leverage to get him out of here? Did he actually say that? Andy, why
they
is
were
it always
live.
Andy?
They were. Yeah, they
Why
were
is it
live
always
while we
Andy?
started, so.
Why is it always Andy?
Again, you can't lose
Why
leverage.
is it
Just
always
like
him?
we're gonna keep Kodai Senga. Well, because he's a midget. What do you expect?
What is wrong with my mouse? Oh my god. Mouse is. They're replacing him with Squid Game characters.
Oh my
Okay.
god, I'm gonna cry. SNY tweeted out the clip of Nimmo from when he signed extension saying, "Feels good to put this jersey on knowing it's not coming off." That just
That
ruined
account
my
needs to
night.
be taken down. Like, it actually needs to
Yeah.
be taken down. Oh my goodness. Brandon Nimmo was a great Met, a prideful Met, someone who I talk to often about him, his legacy as a Met. And he
Played
will
the
be-
game the right
when
way.
he put on that uniform on, he really did look at himself as somebody that would be a leader of this team for years to come, but somebody that one day might have his number 9 in the rafters retired. I don't know. Who lost this deal? I guess time will tell. It's a 1-for-1, so the Mets win the World Series, I guess they win it. I don't know.
Like the whole point's been the stream. You can't look at it in a vacuum.
No.
There's no winner or loser to the deal until we see how the rest of the offseason goes.
But it is a culture changer.
That indeed.
The Nimmo trade is official. Mike Puma tweeted out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It is official.
Now, what number does Semien take?
Cunha's gonna have
Those are the big
to
questions.
switch that jersey number, or just enjoy
Okay.
playing overseas ball.
Or just leave him in the DR. Do that too.
He's gonna get a brand new car.
Yeah, I can't wait for SNY to post a clip of Cunha getting a car from Marcus Semien for number 2.
With a booster
Oh, boy.
seat because he's too small to drive. I see into the future the Mets will take down the Astros in 6 to win the World Series. Semien has a great year. Bellinger wins World Series MVP. You good with that, Andrew? It happened.
I mean, I
Yeah,
doubt it.
pretend. Yay.
I mean, pretend land. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, but is Pete Alonso back? Because I don't give a shit if they win a World Series if Pete Alonso's not on this team.
Yeah, I want Alonso
Exactly.
breaking the records.
Same. I need him 500 homers in a uniform that he shoots out a polar bear after he hits number 500. Like, just,
He shoots
More-
out a
more
polar
important.
bear. He shoots out a polar bear.
because that's more
Oh
important.
my
It's all
God.
about the kids and all about jerseys than actually winning World Series. So, you know,
Hey, you can't forget the
you know.
You can't forget the
What?
polar burger stand.
Oh God, polar bear. You know, $57 for an average piece of cow. Yeah, that's a great idea. Named after a polar bear. Jesus Christ, gotta love you, Steve. Let's get creative. I mean, I'm not gonna. Well, Semien can have the semen shakes. I mean, that works. That's something for you that you want to do. Vanilla milkshake. Come on, a little bit of hot fudge, and you're good. There you go. There you go, Steve. You love marketing dumb. The dumb shit. There you go. He's trying not to laugh, which is the best part.
We're incorporating the new City Field product, Semen Salmon.
Semien Seaman. That's the name of the stand.
Oh, he's trying. He's fucking.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, listen, that's not vanilla ice cream, man.
Oh, God.
Fresh from the source itself.
Oh, God.
Oh.
What? Okay, cool. You wanted to pop in? Cool. There you go. You happy? You happy? But I guess, again, it could be worse. It could be worse. We could have just brought back Wilfredo Tovar to play second base. So maybe Semien can have a better Mets career than Wilfredo Tovar or Jed Lowry. I mean, he's got a really high bar.
As long as it's better than Jed Lowry, which the bar is 6 feet under on that one, but
I kind of want a Neil Walker back so I can see Terry Collins call someone a cocksucker again.
Bro, I need a Reese Havens. I need a Reese Havens reunion. That's what I need. The big 2025.
Unreal, man.
There you go.
I wonder if Stearns had other Nimmo trades, but it seemed like this deal was in place for a while.
Yeah.
And he just they had him contemplated for like 72 hours or whatever.
that's what makes me wonder if the Ottavino shit that was leaked out was like intentional to a degree, because it's like, fuck it, I'm gone anyway, so go ahead and just air it out.
So I can't wait for Brandon Nimmo to go on full territory tomorrow and just cut a full-on promo on David Stearns. Can't wait. Using all the gosh darn dumb poopy head. Can't wait. Can't wait for that Christian podcast pipe bomb. It's gonna be great.
Gary Cohen on SNY saying, everything I've heard about Marcus Semien tells me he's going to be a breath of fresh air in that clubhouse because he's a very well-regarded person in his own right. That certainly will change the nature of things just by the presence rather than Brandon's.
Gary said that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Gary
shut
Cohen.
up. Nemo's homegrown. Shut the fuck up. Semien doesn't know how to lead.
Shut up!
Shut up, Gary.
Wait,
Semion's,
and I mean,
Semion's from the other land.
Okay. All right. I mean,
He didn't come from the streets with nothing like Nimmo.
Yeah, he didn't ride a horse in. He didn't ride a horse in Wyoming.
He didn't want to be a bull
he didn't have
rider.
to play with cows. Like, what do you expect? I mean, what did Marcus Semien do? He actually got to play baseball.
All right.
Brandon had to use cows as infielders. I mean, what do you expect? I don't know.
This is just... It's wild. Wild. Let's see if there's any comments that we missed up here.
Just gotta look up.
Yeah, I looked up. Look up. That's where 9 is going. It doesn't feel the same. It's not the same. Expect the Mets to make a call about Yordan Alvarez.
Playing pretend.
Well, he's a DH, and we don't really do that type of thing. So,
no, we just want we want good gloves and good defense.
No, we need to bring JD Martinez back.
Was
Is
that
that
a
the
Nimmo
Nimmo
point to the sky?
No.
No, different reference, but it works that way. Jordan DH would be sick. He's on a really good contract, to be honest, but he had a really rough year, right?
Oh, he's hurt.
Yeah, with,
Yeah, he's hurt.
injuries.
But he was who was his hitting coach when Jordan completely broke out?
Troy Snicker?
Eric Chavez.
Oh yeah, he owes everything to that man. Yeah, Jordan. I mean, Jordan still had a decent year, but he was hurt the whole fucking year. So Jordan strictly as a DH. How about we get
Bro, I can't wait for we trade.
Let's get Jordan as a DH and then let's sign Kyle Schwarber for left field.
No, Schwarber's
Jeez,
playing catcher again.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
get him back behind the plate. Trade Alvarez. Yeah, get him back behind the plate. I mean, he's built like a mini fridge. All you do is just block it. Well, you don't got to catch it. Just block it. You'll be all right.
This just opens up so many possibilities. Do.
Can't wait. I can't wait for the
Right.
WFAN calls on Monday. How did David Stearns trade this guy, Brandon Nimmo, to the Texas Rangers for a fucking horse and a cow?
Think
He hit
of
230 last year. How can we do this?
He was a
Brandon Nimmo hit
homegrown guy.
262. You're talking 230 versus 262.
Oh God.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Wait, I just thought. Does this open the Luisa Rise possibility now? Get rid of
Shut the fuck up.
freaking put
Shut the fuck up,
Luisa
Andrew.
Rise in
Oh, a
left field.
platoon of
In
Jeff
left field.
McNeil and Luis Ariz
him
at
in left-
first base?
No, put a Rise in the outfield. He's not playing the right position. He needs to go stick him in left field.
Now Luis Ariz. Now that's a culture changer right there.
That's saying I don't want to hit for anything. Let's just hit slap noodle singles. I mean,
That
it could
really,
be worse. It
like
could be
this
wrong.
really was, when you think about it, because I saw some people saying this on Twitter. This is basically the closest thing you'll see to an NBA trade, like where the salaries are being just just lined up and there's nothing else.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So I feel like again, David Stern lost the trade because he didn't get multiple assets. He only got one asset. I mean, come on, you couldn't even get
Yeah, and he
like
made
a
the team
single
better.
A stolen from the Dominican Republic kid and is like at 16. Like, couldn't even do that. Had to just go 1 for 1. I mean, that's it's not good asset management if you think about it.
Well, when you think about it,
If you do something, you might get a thought.
when you do think
Yeah.
about it,
That
after
You know, guys, I had a thought.
I had an epiphany. I think that's a.
there wasn't
Andrew
also
doesn't-
another guy
Andrew
that the
just
Mets
doesn't get the
apparently.
joke.
I saw it.
yeah,
I
I'm
saw it
completely lost.
on.
Okay.
I saw it on Spot Track. I don't know if you guys saw this, but their recent transactions obviously says the Nimmo deal, but what was his name? Joe Darlin Perez. They also signed him. I don't remember that happening.
I don't know who that is.
That's a creative player. We don't need to.
Back in the dumpster he goes. I mean, listen, Mets fans, you wanted moves? There's your damn move.
Yeah.
There's your freaking move.
As long as we
I feel
bring
like we
back the polar bear with the polar hats, it's okay.
And the polar burger and the polar fries and the polar jump off a cliff, we'll be all right.
He's gonna shoot a polar bear.
I
He's
think
gonna
next.
shoot out a polar bear.
I personally
So,
think next they gotta replace
technically-
the apple with a polar bear too.
So
Oh,
technically in 2026, Brandon Nimmo and Richard Lovelady will have the same salary on the Mets payroll.
On that note, I think we've hit our quota before I end up saying something that gets us thrown off the YouTube algorithm.
You've already said enough.
I have not said anything bad. I didn't, I could have said a lot worse. I saved one. I caught it. I'll say that.
Andrew, Andrew just being here sets up the monetization like alerts at YouTube headquarters.
It's like They felt a disturbance in the force. The rhino's on the move.
Stream's still going. We got good health.
Well, you know.
Dick, love lady. Sorry.
Dick in hand, love lady.
We're gonna have Dickie and Seaman on the same roster. That's crazy.
If only Semien could play catcher, so then Dick could pitch to Semien.
Dude, exactly. Dick, he could catch you from. Oh man, that's.
If only Semien's first name was. If only his first name was John.
It could be a lot worse.
All right.
Anything?
Is there any other news?
No.
Anything else to go over?
No.
Wow.
Let's do one
So
last
Adam
refresh
Ottavino
Twitter.
got Brandon Nimmo traded. Where were you when this happened?
Adam Ottavino broke the Mets.
Great. I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been Kuznetsov, but you know, Adam Ottavino, Kuznetsov, same thing.
Adam Ottavino does
Just keep the
cocaine.
what? Well, I was gonna make the joke, and then I teeing one up as you said it, but yeah, you beat me there.
Yeah, I'm the burden here, not letting you make these jokes.
I got Michael Moreno with a great, very informative tweet. Reminder that Marcus Semien won the Gold Glove at second base, and he's got defense. It's fantastic defensive met.
He is a good defensive player.
No,
There you go.
there's a
That's
better
big.
tweet.
Oh boy, what do you
There's a better
got?
tweet from him. One thing is certain about this Brandon Nimmo trade: there will be no hitter in their franchise history to run the first base as fast as he did on walks. That franchise record will go untested for the next 100 years easy. A fantastic Met who always hustled. Great tweet.
Just playing it the right way.
That's what I was worried about.
Jet
He
What?
played the game the right way. Like 2014,
You know.
15 Brandon Bass.
Well,
Wait, does this now open up a reunion with Harrison Bader to play left field every day? To piss off Frank about sports all the time. Harrison Bader playing left field every day?
No, they're gonna get
Great.
Teoscar for him.
Oh, God.
God.
No, I think we're playing Vogel back at center field this year. That's at least what I heard.
Dude, I thought we were getting MJ Melendez. I thought that was going to be the plan. Jesus.
G. Wombe.
I am
Sequel.
impressed, man. Impressed.
But it's kind of bad that, David Stearns makes this trade, but then doesn't have his replacement 5 minutes ready to go. It's kind of bad GMing if you think about it. It opens up a
Sleepy
spot.
At the
to
trade
not-
deadline.
Exactly. He opens up a hole and doesn't fill it. I mean, come on. Who does that?
Oh my god.
He fills it with. Never mind. All
Fills it with Semien.
Again. Yeah, I think somebody just hit that red button. We'll see you guys next time.
Son of a bitch!
Clip this for Mets Weekly After
All right.
Dark. There you go.
I can't wait to see this on the Mets Weekly TikTok.
The Mets Weekly OnlyFans page.
You have plenty of content for TikToks. There you go.
Oh,
Have
God.
fun. Oh, God.
All right. We're going to wrap this up here. One more time, the Mets have acquired Marcus Semien from the Texas Rangers in exchange for lifetime Met, Brandon Nimmo. And we'll see what next moves are on the horizon here. We'll see. Either way, make sure to go follow Evan and Matt. Their links are in the description. Make sure to follow all the co-hosts individually. I'm pretty sure Frank is going to post a video as well about this trade, obviously with the news breaking shockingly. Either way, obviously we will not have a we will not have a podcast episode to record live this week because it is Thanksgiving and everyone should be with their family and not worrying about a baseball team. So we will be back next Thursday, but there will be some videos out during the week. Either way, one more time, Mets acquire Marcus Semien for Brandon Nimmo, and we will see you guys next time.